Hi, this is Scott with Competitive Cameras with a first look at Fujifilm's brand new X-T5. Let's take a look. So the Fujifilm's had quite a busy year this year with updates to the X-H2S and the X-H2 camera. Fujifilm continues that update of cameras with a brand new update to one of their flagships, the X-T5. Now, when taking a look at the X-T series cameras, Fujifilm has kept the long classic X-T design with buttons and knobs on top. And they've done exactly that with the X-T5 and not changing things that we've known and grown to love from Fujifilm. What has changed? Well, the X-T5 inherits the 40 megapixel X-Trans 5 with backside illuminated sensor and the X-Processor Pro 5 from its bigger brothers, the X-H2S and the X-H2. Now in doing that, the focus here is about increasing not only the detail and the resolution, but the richness to those tonalities in shooting with this camera. And I can tell you after shooting this pre-production model, before it's announced, that the camera delivers. Now, what else have they improved? Fujifilm has also increased the in-body image stabilization to up to 7 stops, giving you the freedom to be able to hand-hold this camera in situations that might have required a tripod before. It also has the brand new 160 megapixel pixel shift multi-shot capability that you've seen previously in the X-H2. And this gives you the ability to shoot a series of images on a tripod, and it takes 20 images that are later stitched in your computer to give you a 160 megapixel ultra high resolution image. Now, why might you use this? Well, still life shooters where they're photographing maybe your paintings or artwork or a product, this gives you unparalleled capability to photograph in ultra high detail, but also maintaining the best possible color fidelity, something that was previously the territory of things like medium format cameras. In addition to that, Fujifilm has packed a great deal of speed. In stills mode, this camera shoots at 15 frames per second using the mechanical shutter. It's got roughly a 500,000 click shutter life. When looking at battery performance, you're looking at over 650 shots per charge. 3.69 million dot EVF found in the previous cameras. And in addition to that, the camera overall just feels incredibly quick. I never want to say that the X-T4 felt slow, but the X-T5 sees a noticeable difference, not just only in the workings of the camera, but in tracking and in autofocus, and gets the same gains that we saw with that X-H2. Now, let's talk about some of the design aspects. So what's changed? We kept all of the retro design with the knobs and dials. On the side here where we have the HDMI port and the ports for the microphone, it's inherited these same doors that we found on the X-H2. They feel much more solid and much more secure, and I feel like they also will help seal the camera better in inclement weather. Now, one big change that you're going to find is Fujifilm has brought back the 3-way tilt screen found on the X-T3 and the X-T2, and they brought that back to the X-T5. I think there's always been a great debate on do we want the fold-out screen or do we want the 3-way flip screen. I think with the X-T5 primarily being a stills first camera, that this is going to appeal to a lot of shooters and give people a lot of capabilities. Apart from that, it's the same W235 battery that we're used to with the other Fujifilm cameras. It maintains the same 2 SD card slots that can take up to V60 and V90 SD cards for recording. And apart from that, the camera, like I said, feels much snappier. Now, we talked about some of the still capabilities. Let's take a look at the video capabilities. The Fujifilm X-T5 will shoot video at 6.2K up to 24 frames per second in 4:2:2. Now, we do have that higher resolution sensor. We also have another capability inherited from its bigger brother. It can shoot a 4K HQ mode that's 4K high quality, which downsamples from the 6.2K, and it records that up to 30 frames per second in 4:2:2 internally. So you've got a lot of recording options, both all intercodecs, long GOP, H.264, H.265. It'll show you in the menu system all the different options as well as the record time, so you have an idea of how much recording time you're looking at. In addition, if we talk about from a shutter capability, from a still setup, you've got up to 180,000th of a second shooting an electronic shutter, or 1/8,000th of a second in shooting a mechanical shutter, as well as in video. You've got external ProRes support. So you have a micro HDMI output. You can connect that to either an Adamus or a Blackmagic recorder and actually output over the HDMI either ProRes RAW or Blackmagic RAW. In addition, it also supports both F-Log 2 and F-Log. So the F-Log2 gives you up to 13 stops of dynamic range so that you have the most possible editing capabilities in post. When you're looking, like I said, you also will benefit from the 7 stops of IBIS for handheld video shooting. You've also got the 2x digital teleconverter, which works in video mode or still, so that you have the ability to actually punch in and still get clear quality video in the 6.2K, and it punches into where you're looking at 4K. Now, one of the other features they've also done and they changed here is when recording video, you'll notice now that on the back of the screen here, as opposed to just showing you the red dot, it actually highlights the whole screen in red. This makes it a lot easier to know when you're recording using the X-T5 that you know you're recording and there's no guesswork to that, and I really do like that change. So with all the benefits we've seen, including not only the higher resolution, but the ability that the camera also shoots higher video resolutions, they've also made the camera smaller than the X-T4. It's lighter by about 50 grams. So you've not only got a smaller, lighter, and now more powerful both still camera and video camera. So the last 2 questions we ask is, when is this camera coming and what's it going to cost? Well, the X-T5 is debuting today, November 2nd. It's coming to competitive cameras on November 17th, so we have a short wait. For those who are waiting, they're going to be selling a body only as well as a body with lens kit, which is the 16 to 80 lens you see here. The body is going to retail for $16.99 and the kit's going to retail for $21.99. Now, with all these improvements of giving you a higher resolution sensor, a faster processor, a lighter body, a smaller body, Fujifilm's done all of this and they've come in at the same price as the previous generation, which in today's market is really amazing because that's not something we're seeing from other manufacturers. If you've got more questions about Fujifilm, come see us. We were using here, this is again a pre-production model, so I don't have images to show you. We will have those as we get closer to launch. If you've got questions about Fujifilm, come see us at Competitive Cameras. You can also pre-order this camera starting today. You can call us, you can email us, stop by the store. We'd be happy to help you. We carry the full line of Fujifilm XF lenses, as well as products from their GF and GFX line. Oh, and there is one more thing that Fujifilm is going to be announcing today. There is a brand new Fujifilm XF 30mm macro. Now, for those of you that know the Fujifilm lenses, they have a line of the Fujifilm, what we call lovingly Fujicrons, which are their small, super capable, and lightweight XF lenses. Well, this comes in that line. It's a brand new 30mm XF f2.8 aperture macro lens. It's very small, it's very fast to focus, and it's very, very sharp. But in addition to that, one of the things you'll notice is this lens will focus on a subject 1.2 centimeters from the front of the lens. Now, to give you an idea, that's focusing at this distance. Super, super close. It's using a linear motor for the focusing, so it's also very fast and very, very sharp. It's using the same dust and weather resistant construction you find in the other smaller Fujinon lenses. And this lens also will be coming later in November to competitive cameras. Again, I'm Scott with Competitive Cameras with a first look at Fujifilm's brand new XF30 and X-T5. Thanks, have a good one.